Okay, gentlemen, this is Mr. Broyles, and I'm creating this video to talk to you about the structure of a synthesis essay. You've been assigned this brief synthesis that requires you to synthesize the ideas presented in Plato's Allegory of the Cave, Whitman's Song of the Open Road, and Father Adolfo Nicolas's keynote address. And so I'm going to talk about, first of all, how not to write the essay, and then secondly, how to write the essay. A synthesis essay is one that requires you to show some similarities between more than two works. And it has to be done in a particular way. Otherwise, what you end up writing is a report, and I do not want a report from you. I want a synthesis. All right, so let's start with talking about how not to write this essay. Right. Obviously, what you want to do is to create a thesis statement, and that thesis statement should be seen as the controlling idea of the whole paper. So after reviewing the three works and thinking about what the three works are saying, what your notes say, what our class discussion has been, then you're going to come up with a 1 to 2 sentence statement that really captures the essence of all three of these works. That's what your thesis statement is going to be. You're going to decide what that is. You want to call that a working thesis statement. You don't want to call it a thesis statement yet, but at this point, just a working thesis statement that may develop over time. Once you have that down, then you're going to look at the concrete details that you need and so forth. What are the best quotes that you can find from each of the three works? Okay, so that's pretty basic. We already know that that's part of writing an essay about literature or about other forms of writing. What I don't want you to do is to then take that information that you've gathered, that you've thought about, and create body paragraphs that only deal with one of the three readings at a time. So for example, if you had a thesis paragraph with your thesis at the end of it, and then you had a body paragraph that just deals with Plato's Allegory of the Cave, right? And then you had, concrete details from Plato, from the Allegory of the Cave only in that first body paragraph, and then let's say that your next paragraph was from Whitman's Song of the Open Road, and then you had a couple of quotes, or even more, doesn't matter, from Song of the Open Road, and then you had a third body paragraph from Nicolas' keynote address, and then you had stuff from Nicolas here in the concrete details. This is not what I'm looking for in this essay, right? This is what we call a report, and it's not what I want, okay? Just want you to be very clear that this is not what I'm looking for. You see, in this kind of essay, you've got a body paragraph on Plato, you've got a body paragraph on Whitman, you've got a body paragraph on Nicolas, which is all fine. But what I'm looking for is for you to combine their thinking, right? That's what a synthesis paper is. I'm looking for you to be able to see similarity in each of these three things, and I want that to be reflected in your body paragraphs. So the way this should look is as follows. Obviously, you're going to have your thesis paragraph and your thesis statement at the end of your intro paragraph, right? That's typically where it is. And then your first body paragraph will be based upon the first main idea of your essay. What I mean by that is an idea that really is a part of the thesis statement. Maybe not a part of it, but one of the key ideas that you find in the essays, in the poem, in the speech, that really captures one aspect of the thesis statement, right? And then you're going to show me how that's true by maybe quoting Plato and maybe quoting, for example, Nicolas in that body paragraph, right? And so you're going to take ideas from Plato, right? You're going to take ideas from Nicolas and use those both to support this first main idea. That's what we're talking about right here, okay? And that's really what a synthesis paragraph looks like. So you're combining the thinking of at least two writers here, right? At least two of the works that we've read. Your second body paragraph then is going to have your main idea number 2, and let's say for this one maybe you have something from Whitman and something from Plato, right, for this one, and then in body paragraph number 3 you're going to have main idea number 3 that you come up with. All these ideas are really things that you develop based upon your understanding of these readings, your reading of them, your discussion in class, you know, and then finally you might have a quote from Nicolas and then a quote from Whitman, for example, right? That's what it's going to look like, all right? So then, of course, once you have these concrete details that you think you're going to use, then, you know, you're going to take and you're going to put commentary in them. So let me just erase these arrows first. And see if I can do that. Erase. Right. And so in here now you're going to have a commentary section, and in here you're going to have, of course, a commentary section. This looks like basic Jane Schaefer, and it is to an extent, but let me be sure that you understand what I expect of you in these paragraphs. This commentary section, for example, is the very first section, right? It's going to show how that concrete detail proves that main idea, right? And then how it relates to the thesis. That's what that commentary section should do. The same thing's true here, except a little bit more. You're gonna show how this concrete detail proves the main idea of the topic sentence and how it all goes back to the thesis, right? So you're comparing Nicolas and Plato. You're showing their similarities. You're using their ideas to support that main idea. The same thing is going to be true down here. You'll have commentary here. You'll have commentary here. And all of this is going to relate back to the main idea. So this idea will be supported here and so on. And then everything here in these commentary sections must show how it all relates to the thesis statement, right? That's what you're going to do. And the same thing's true down here. So the basic structure of a thesis, of a synthesis paper, right, will look like this, right? You're going to have a paper that is really idea-driven, right, based upon these ideas that really are aspects of your overall thesis statement. And then you're going to use concrete details from the different works that we've studied. You understand what I mean? I hope. Instead of what this looks like up here, right? This would be a report where you have a body paragraph on Plato, body paragraph on Whitman, body paragraph on Nicolas. You don't want that. If you do that, you're going to get a very bad grade. So please do not do that. Okay, so in this first video, I'm basically teaching what the structure of a synthesis essay should look like. And again, it should look like this. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. This is an idea-driven essay. It's really not an author-driven essay. And you're going to use that format for this essay as well as one other essay in this class. Okay, I'm going to come back in just a minute to talk about the process that you should use to write this paper. Thank you.